Hello everyone. So this is the part 7 of human reproduction. We have gone through the topics of gametogenesis, male reproductive system, female reproductive system, and the process of fertilization and implantation inside the human female body, or especially in the endouterine lining of the uterus. So going ahead in the chapter, here is the topic which we are covering today in this particular video. It is pregnancy and early development. So, uh, just a brief of the previous topic. We have gone through till the implantation process, the trophoblast was formed and there was the formation of blastocyst, the zygote that changes into the morula, and from the morula it changes into the gastrula. So this blastocyst to the formation of gastrula, and during the development of the fetus there are further changes into this blastocyst structure, and finally there is the formation of the gastrula, and these changes are morphogenetic or morphological, because this gastrula is the structure which has three germinal layer. And why these germinal layers are important? Because and these changes are known as the morphological changes, because these germinal layers, they further give rise to various tissues of the body or developing fetus. So this complete process of the changing of the blastocyst into the gastrula is known as the gastrulation. Okay, so what we have seen in this structure, what was there? There were the flat cells. These are the trophoblast, or these are also known as the trophoectoderm. Okay, need to understand the topic in a precise way. Trophoectoderm, and here is the inner cell mass. The cells are arranged on one side of this structure, and this inner cell mass is now known as embryonal knob. Okay, and the cells which are in direct contact with this inner mass, these are known as the Ruber's cells. What are these? These are the Ruber's cell, and there is a nutritive fluid-filled cavity. This is known as the blastocele. It is also known as the uterine milk, because this fluid is getting from the uterus of the mother. So this was the structure which we have gone through in the part 6 also. Now the implantation which has already done, and the process of implantation is done by means of the projection of some finger like structure. You can see here the same structure. These are the finger like structure which which appear on the trophoblast, and these finger like projections, these are known as the chorionic villi. And these finger like projections or the structure which appear on the trophoblast, these are surrounded by the uterine tissue and the maternal blood. So further there is the formation of a structure, and that joint structure of chorionic villi plus the uterus, it form a structure which is known as placenta. Placenta is very important because it is the direct connection between the mother body and the developing fetus or the embryo. So placenta is important because it provides oxygen, and all the exchange of the nutrients from the mother to the developing fetus is done by means of the placenta. There also the process of excretion also takes place by means of the placenta. So during the process of gastrulation, there are two major changes. What are these changes? Number one, this embryonal knob, it flattens and it arranged in a layer. You can see here it is present in a irregular mass of cells. Now this is the embryonal knob. It flattens and it is arranged in a layer during the further development or the further gastrulation process as it proceed. And the second change was there is these Ruber cells degenerate. What are Ruber cells? Ruber cells are the cells which are in direct contact with this inner mass. So these cells from here to here, these are the Ruber cells. During the gastrulation process, the embryonal knob, it flattens and it arranged in a layer, and the Ruber cell, these degenerate. So the structure which is formed further in the process is the structure like this. The cells of inner mass or the embryonal knob, they now arranged in the form of a layer, and from here there is degenerative Ruber cell. So irregular mass, it changes into the embryonic disc. Now further there is division in this embryonic division in this embryonic disc, and during this division you can see this structure like this. These are the embryonic disc and there is division in this. So because of the division there is formation of upper larger cells and the smaller lower cells. So upper cells, these are the columnar, while these are the cuboidal lower cell. This is structure, this is the trophoblast, you can see here. So these are known as the epiblast and these are known as the hypoblast. Okay, now epiblast, these are the upper columnar cells, while the lower cuboidal cells, these are known as the hypoblast. Now further at this stage, the first germinal layer is formed. Very important to know, the first layer which is formed during the gastrulation process is the endoderm. So now there is the detachment of epiblast cells. So there is a process which is known as the delamination of epiblast, and the first ectoderm layer is formed. Now the structure you may find like this. These are the upper columnar cells and there is the formation of the first germinal layer which is the endoderm. So upper endoderm layer, this forms the primitive gut. It forms the primitive gut, and which further form the alimentary canal. Now these are the epiblast cells which help in the formation of a complete embryo. Very important to know. Please do remember this. These are the epiblast cells which help in the complete formation of the embryo, while there is no role of the hypoblast. And then there is, it is filled with the sac, which is the yolk sac, and yolk cell is highly reduced in case of human females. Now the trophoblast it differentiate into chorions. We will be learning about the fetal membranes in the further slides. The chorion develops chorionic villi which penetrate into uterine tissue and later branch to almost fuse with the maternal tissue. The chorionic villi and the uterine tissue become interdigitated with each other and jointly they form a structure. So I have already explained this. Chorionic villi and the uterine tissue, they jointly form a structure which is very important structure, and this jointly form structure, which is a functional unit between the developing embryo and the maternal body or the mother body, and this structure is known as the placenta. So there during the embryo formation or the development of the embryo, there is the origination of the some of the membranes which are known as the fetal membranes. So what are fetal membranes? Fetal membranes are the membranous structure which are formed in the growing embryo which provide protection, support its nutrition, respiration and excretion activities. What are these membranes? These are chorion, amnion, allantois and yolk sac. So first of all, chorion, it covers and protects the embryo and is composed of trophoblast outside and extraembryonic mesoderm inside. Further, after the development of the embryo, there is the development of the mesoderm and there is the development of the ectoderm. So, chorion, it contributes to the formation of placenta for nutrients and metabolic exchange between the fetus and the mother. Then there is another fetal membrane which is known as the amnion. It is formed above the embryo and consists of trophoblast and a fluid cavity called amniotic cavity. When the embryo is formed from the epiblast, as we have seen in previous slides, there is the development of amniotic cavity, and it is formed above the embryo and is consists of trophoblast and a fluid-filled cavity which is known as the amniotic cavity. It is covered by the extraembryonic mesoderm on the outside. Both the amnion and the amniotic cavity enlarge and the embryo becomes suspended in the amniotic cavity and is connected to the placenta by an umbilical cord made from yolk sac and allantois. Further, there is the development of the umbilical cord. When the embryo grows further or the size of the embryo increases, then it is suspended in the fluid-filled cavity which is known as the amniotic cavity, and it is connected to the placenta not directly but by means of a cord which is known as the umbilical cord, and it is made from yolk sac and the allantois. Allantois, it is a small sac that does not reach the chorion and pushes out from the gut of the embryo near the yolk sac by the 3rd week. It consists of the endoderm on the inside and extraembryonic mesoderm on the outside. It also forms umbilical cord and blood vessels. Allantois is also a small sac and it pushes out from the gut of the embryo near the yolk sac by onwards of the 3rd week. And it is consists of endoderm which is on the inner side of it and extraembryonic mesoderm which is present on the outside of it. Then the further fetal membrane is the yolk sac. It is formed below the embryo and it contains fluid, not yolk. Initially, its outermost wall is covered by trophoblast and endoderm and is called the primary yolk sac. When its outermost wall is covered by trophoblast and endoderm and is called primary yolk sac. It is highly reduced in case of human. Later on, the wall is composed of endoderm and mesoderm, and then it is called the secondary yolk sac. Yolk sac, why it is important? It acts as a site of blood cell formation and until about the 6th week, after which the liver takes over. And after the 6th week of pregnancy, during the development of the fetus or the embryo, the yolk sac, it start shrinking. So this is the structure which is formed later on during the process of gastrulation. So you can see here, this is the uterine cavity and this is the endometrium of uterus as the implantation has been done. So these are the maternal sinusoids and these are the epiblast and hypoblast of the embryonal knob. This is the main part from which the embryo development, complete embryo further grows, and this is the amnion which is formed, and it is the cavity of the amnion, fluid filled cavity, and here is the yolk sac. You can see here, this is the uterine cavity and the extraembryonic mesoderm and chorion is present here. So these are the structures which are further formed during the process of gastrulation. So what are the role of placenta? The placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen. It supplies oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. As the placenta is the direct connection between the maternal body and the developing fetus. So the function is directly to provide all the things from the mother to the developing fetus for the development of the fetus. So it supplies oxygen and nutrients to the embryo and it removes all the unwanted CO2 and excretory waste material produced by the embryo. As the embryo is growing, so all the processes of life are running into the embryo also. So during that process, the excretory product or excretory waste material is also generated, which is removed by means of placenta. The placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord. Further on the development, the placenta, when the embryo enlarges or is expanded in size, then there is the development of the umbilical cord, which directly help in the transport of substances to and from the embryo. So this is the umbilical cord which help in the transport of substances from the embryo and to the embryo. Placenta also act as an endocrine tissue and produce several hormones. And the role of placenta is important because it also produces several hormones like the human chorionic gonadotropic hormone, human placental lactogen, estrogen and progesterone. And this is the human chorionic gonadotropin (HCG), which at the 9th week, human chorionic gonadotropin at the 9th week, it produces estrogen and progesterone, which are very important and they help in sustaining of the pregnancy throughout the period. In the late phase of pregnancy, it is a 9-month process in case of human female, or during the late phase of pregnancy, or a hormone called relaxin is secreted by the ovary. So here in this human fetus with the uterus, you can see here, this is the embryo. This is the embryo. This is the yolk sac, which is highly reduced in female, human female. This is the cavity of the uterus where all the development is taking place. These are the placental villi, and this is the umbilical cord through which the placenta is attached and the embryo is attached. So this is the umbilical cord with its vessels, and this is the medium for to and flow of the material from the embryo to the mother body, and placenta is means for providing all the necessary things like oxygen and carrying out of the carbon dioxide and the excretory material from the embryo to the maternal body. Immediately after implantation, we have already discussed, the embryo differentiate into the outer layer ectoderm and inner layer endoderm. The first germinal layer which is formed is the endoderm from the abiplast of the embryonal knob of the blastocyst. And after the formation of ectoderm and endoderm, the mesoderm soon appear between the ectoderm and the endoderm. These are the three layers: endoderm, ectoderm and mesoderm. So all these changes during the changing of the blastocyst to the gastrula, and this process is known as the gastrulation. These changes are known as the morphological changes or the morphogenetic changes, because all these three germinal layers are responsible for giving rise to all the tissue and organs in adults. Also, during the development of the embryo, some of the cells of inner cell mass they contain stem cells. The inner cell mass, which was known as the embryonal knob, they also have some cells which are known as the stem cells. They are very important because they have the ability to give rise to all kind of tissues and organs of our body. The duration of about 9 months of pregnancy, which is the gestation period, can be divided into 3 trimesters. Duration of 9 months or 38 weeks is divided into 3 trimesters on the basis of the development of the organs. So first, second and third month or the 12 weeks is the first trimester. The pharyngeal arches, endocrine gland like thyroid, parathyroid, thymus are well differentiated. The limbs with digits are well formed. External genitalia are formed. Heart also developed after 1 month of pregnancy and start beating. The length of the developing embryo is known as crown to rump length. This is known as the CR length. Of 2-month-old embryo is 2.5 centimeter. Then there is the second trimester, which is the 4th, 5th and 6th months or the 24 weeks. The movement in the body of fetus begins during 5th month. Through head hair also appear in 5th month, but the body hair and eyelashes develop by the end of the second trimester. Eyelids, they also separate during the second trimester and the third trimester when the full growth takes place. This start fast growth in the performed body organs. The CR length, crown rump length is 30 centimeter. So this is all about the process of pregnancy and early development. Thank you so much, guys.